Up next, we'll be talking about how are we artificial intelligence ready data centers and how is it that we can take these conversations forward. Telling us a lot more about this, let me welcome Ms. Divya Jain, Vice President Sales at NTT Global Data Centers and Cloud Infrastructure India. May I request all of you to please put your hands together for Ms. Jain as she steps forward to tell us more on AI-ready data centers.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I know I'm standing between you and your lunch, so we'll keep this interaction, this session more interactive. So first of all, I'm really excited about this event. The reason is that today, AI has been now part of our life, and AI is going to change the way we are working today and the way we are going to work tomorrow. So this is going to be a very interesting era for all of us. I have a question. How many of you today came to this session using Ola or Uber? A quick raise of hand. Quite a few of you. And how many of you used your personal vehicle to come to this event? I see more raise of hands. And don't judge me, but I also wanted to know how many of you have used a high-end car like Mercedes, BMW, Jaguar to come to this event? Oh, I see a couple of hands raised. Do you think any one of you came early, or do you think the time to reach this destination changed because we were using a public transport versus a high-end car? No. Am I right? The time taken to reach this destination was similar to all the people, irrespective of which car you used. And the reason was that your underlying infrastructure, which is your transport system, your roads, your public transport system, is going to drive efficiency for you. And the reason for sharing this is that the same analogy lies when you are trying to drive your AI goals. We know we are trying to solve very large problems using AI ML. We are trying to see how we can predict cancer in early stages. We are talking about building autonomous cars. But we all know that when we want to use and work on these kind of solutions, we need high-end servers. And today, the server infrastructure is becoming more and more expensive. And we also know that to power these high-end servers, you need a very, very high-end, racks which can power and hold these servers. And to host these racks with high-end power, like 30 kilowatt or 50 kilowatt per server, you need a very robust, reliable, scalable, and agile data center infrastructure. So irrespective of what your AI goals are, if your underlying infrastructure does not support you, you cannot bring in that efficiency. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Divya Jain, and I'm Vice President, Sales and Business Development for NTT. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the importance of data center infrastructure in achieving your AI and ML goals. I want to share with you all about who we are. So give me a moment to present this video.
In a global society where AI and new augmented worlds now exist, where connected devices proliferate at the edge, data centers are more critical than ever. As part of NTT Data, we power...
What happened? Sorry. Should I press the play button? Is there some problem? Okay, no worries. So that video was primarily talking about who we are. So we are, I represent Entity Global Data Centers, which is part of the Entity Holdings, a $100 billion company. And we have more than 155 data centers that we deploy globally, and we are building another 35 data centers worldwide. We have more than $10 billion investments in data center. The reason I'm sharing with you all is because the point is that if I have to help organizations like you all to achieve your AI goals, you need a robust infrastructure. And when you see your growth coming in, you don't face the same situation as you must have faced today to come to this conference in Sahara. And also that we are a #1 data center player in the country with more than 30% market share, and we have more than 19 data centers in the country. The reason I'm sharing this with you all is that today AI ML adoption has just started, but there was always a cloud adoption that was going on in the country, which also led to a huge data center growth. So if you refer to the column on the rightmost side, which is 2024, you will see that there is a power of almost 1.6 gigawatt, which will be required to fuel your digital transformation. And just to help you understand what this 1.6 gigawatt means is that it can actually light more than 12 million homes, which is almost like lighting the 80% of Mumbai city. That is the kind of growth we are seeing in the country for data center infrastructure. But what is the impact of AI in all these things? Because we are part of the AI Summit. And if you see that blue portion of the bar, that denotes the consumption of data center that is going to happen because of AI ML. And the prediction is that the AI ML is going to be leading almost 84% of compounded annual growth starting from 2024 to 2028. And this tweet that came in from Mr. Michael Dell, the founder and the CEO of Dell Computers, as latest as 27th August. It talks about repatriation. Repatriation, that customers, enterprises are going to switch from cloud to private cloud. And that, again, is because of AI and ML adoption in the country and in enterprises and globally. Now, while I'm talking about all these things, at some point of time, you always get that fear, or you become cognizant that if I am really looking to adopt AI ML, am I going to get right infrastructure? So here in NTT Data, we are cognizant about this growth, and we are doing a lot of investments around data centers. In 2024, we run almost 21 data centers with 300 megawatt of power. And by 2027, we are going to add another 15 to 16 data centers, and our power will go up to almost 600 megawatt. This is our growth plan for the country and for enterprises in India. I also wanted to highlight to you all that we've just launched a data center in Noida, which is around 22, 23 megawatt. And we are going to have another 2 data centers in the country, one where we are talking about 100 megawatt, which is a data center campus, and we are going to have another data center campus in Kolkata. This is a very important slide for you all, because while we are talking about AI, while we are talking about infrastructure, we also need to be cognizant about whether these data centers are AI ready. So we have brought new technologies in our data centers, and you'll be surprised now that you can actually immerse your servers in liquid and bring in more efficiency in the way you're running it. You can have directly liquid coming onto your chips of the server to cool your infrastructure. And also you can do very smart and efficient energy measures, controlling measures, where you do hot aisle containment and cold aisle containment. I'm going to cover a little more about this, but I'd like to invite on stage my colleague, friend, and now my customer, Karan Kriplani from NASA. And we want to share with you how we are working with our customers in collaborating in their AI goals. So over to you, Karan.
Good to see you again.
See you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. I know it's been a rainy couple of days, so thank you for braving, shall we say, inclement weather. So Divya actually introduced me. I lead product for NISA. We are a GPU as a service cloud and an AI platform as a service provider. And for us, I'll talk to you a little bit about what NISA does, not as a plug, but really to tie it into why we chose NTT as our data center. So as I mentioned, NISA is a GPU as a service cloud and an AI platform as a service provider. For us, we provide GPUs on demand to our clients. You know, everyone who has an AI project today requires training, they require inferencing, they require high performance compute, and therefore what they need fundamentally is high performance computing, a high performance computing layer, AKA GPUs, high speed network, high speed storage, and a very, very robust infrastructure layer. So that's the infrastructure layer that you see at the bottom of your screen over there. Over and above that, as you move up the stack, there's the entire AI platform, which allows clients to, deploy, execute, prototype, and take into production their generative AI or, frontier AI use cases. So just a quick show of hands, how many of you are currently have any kind of AI in a test or a prototype phase? Anything. You could have a data science team. Quite a few, right? How many of you have taken those into production? Again, quite a few. Congratulations. So this is what, at a glance, what NISA does. And for us, what you're not seeing on the screen right now is the data center layer. And Divya's talked to you a little bit about what NTT GDC does, and it was critical for us to make sure that our data center partner was able to meet our growth aspirations. We tend to sometimes think of the data center as what I refer to as table stakes. I promise you it isn't. The critical aspect of a data center cannot be understated when it comes to providing a AI service to our clients. You need everything from scalable power. You need scalable space within that data center. Divya, what she hasn't talked about, which was, again, of significant value to us now as a client of NTT, is their Data Center Interconnect service, right, DCI?
Yes.
Where they have fiber between multiple data centers, and she's talked to you about all of that. So for us as a provider to offer multiple availability zones for our AI cloud service, it was very, very important for those data centers to be seamlessly connected to each other. But I want to really talk about the power for a moment before we get into this slide. It's forecasted by 2028, AI as an industry will be and let's see if anyone can actually fill in the blank for me over here. There'll be a prize, maybe. By 2028, AI is forecasted to be the 11th most 11th most power-consuming dash in the world. What do you think the dash is? How many of you think that dash is the 11th most power-consuming industry in the world? No? Any guesses? Sorry? Yes. Who said that? AI is, as an industry, going to be only behind the 11 most power-hungry countries in the world as an industry. Just to give you a few ideas, today, how many of you are familiar with H100s, H200s from NVIDIA? Quick show of hands. Great. Do you know what the next big chip they're touting? which is due for release early 2025. It's called their Blackwell architecture. Just out of curiosity, what do you think the minimum amount of power you need per rack for Blackwell infrastructure? Any guesses? It's about 60 kilowatts a rack. Now, how many data centers are actually able to do that? And that's one of the reasons that we chose NTT GDC as a provider, is because they're investing in, while they already offer us things like containment, they have liquid immersion cooling, they have, or they're investing in liquid immersion cooling, they're investing in liquid-cooled infrastructure. So for us as a client, it was critical to make sure that we partnered with the right data center provider.
Thank you so much.
Yeah?
Thank you. Thank you, Karan. So, the reason we had NASA here was because it's a startup, growing organization, trying to solve a lot of problems around AI, ML, again, a core infrastructure service provider. And we knew that as these people grow, it was important for us to understand their dynamics and help them support. While we're doing all these things, I am going to take another 1 minute. Because it's power-hungry infrastructure, we do a lot of renewable energy or sustainability initiatives. We have more than 300 megawatt of power through renewable energy. We use different technologies like hot aisle and cold aisle containment. And we also work on the design to bring environments which are more sustainable. And while I sign off from you all, I'd like to share with you a live video of how DCLC and LIC has been implemented in our Mahape, Navi Mumbai data center. This was implemented 2 years back in partnership with PhonePe. So you will see PhonePe talking in reality about how they have used DCLC and LIC for AI/ML solution. Oh, sorry. Salman, I need someone to play this, please.
In liquid immersion cooling, we have a horizontal tank, or we call it as liquid immersion rack. In this rack, we fill up around 1,100 liters of coolant or a synthetic oil. This oil is maintained at a temperature of 40 degrees. In this tank, we immerse 48 servers, which in total takes about 20 kilowatts of power.
How this works is the oil from the rack absorbs heat from which are generated by the servers running. This oil is then carried to a CDU, which exchanges heat using heat exchangers into water, and that water is then pumped onto the roof into a dry cooler. Again, working at very high temperatures, the oil works at about 40 degrees. The water can be as hot as 38 degrees, and therefore it is a lot more efficient to cool the servers that are working.
So I invite you all to come and see this in reality and how it has brought in efficiency. And I wish you all the best in your AI and ML goals. Thank you so much, and thank you, Karan, for joining in.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.